fucking out of here. Is there anyone up here?
That gave legit goosebumps there.
She jumped off the bridge.
Are you counting me? Hi, welcome to BS Paranormal Investigations episode on the Drish House in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Drish House was a very exciting place for Bradley and I to go. It's the first time we've been inside of a location that we've had completely to ourselves. This location has many stories given its historic nature. It is on Alabama's historic registry. It is often used as a wedding venue for many couples in that north central Alabama area. And it was an exciting, unique series of experiences for me personally, and we'll get into that later. However, one of the things I want to talk about is the length of this episode and the style of episode it is. This episode is going to be a lot like our Just the Evidence episodes. We had so much footage that it just wasn't able to be condensed and given that investigative spin that we like to put on it. Like, we like to show ourselves walking around and actually going through the building. We're not able to do that here. We did have cameras with us the whole time, but like, honestly, we didn't catch anything on our handheld devices, so it takes time away from the evidence. And there's just so much of it here that I'm putting it forward first. And the way this episode is structured, it is structured like a Just the Evidence episode, but we're going to go in order of the least active spaces to the most active spaces. And I'll introduce each space and what we found there and let you watch the evidence for yourself. The first space that you're going to see is one of the upstairs sitting rooms. We kind of designated them separately, one as the beauty room and one as the TV room, because one of the rooms had like 2 TVs in there and one of the rooms had no TVs and a lot of art. And very illustrious art at that. So we called that, the one with all the art on the walls, the beauty room. And we called the one with the TVs in it the TV room because it had TVs. And so this TV room is the one we're starting off with first. In this room we had a lot of interesting sounds. And honestly, these are sounds that were caught on camera more than they were caught on audio. Like, our camera's audio picked it up, which makes sense because we did have some high quality microphones attached to our cameras for the first time. We normally just use the camera audio, but this time we decided to use some like extended microphones, and our cameras picked up some pretty interesting stuff. So this is all the evidence that we felt could make it into this episode for the TV room. As you saw, we got some orbs in the last video. We're going to have some orbs in the upcoming room as well. Despite how close in time the orbs are to some of the audio, I still have no reason to think that they're anything more than bugs or dust. Like, that's what they look like on camera. Like, it looks like a bug flying across the lens or through the light, and it looks like dust just kind of getting kicked up. I think there's room for conversation of what might have kicked up some dust, but I don't think it's anything more than dust. This next room is the beauty room. We called it this because there were no TVs in there. It was just paintings on the wall, some couches, some lounging areas. And this room has the stories associated with a woman who sighs. And I'm going to let you look at and watch the evidence and see what you think. And then I'll come back and give my take on it. So here you go. Well, that's the evidence for that room. You might have noticed that some of our subtitles just had voices because we wanted you to actually hear them before we gave our interpretation. So Bradley and I did conclude what some of those voices might be saying, and I'm going to let you take a look and listen at those now. So that was everything from that room upstairs. Honestly, after some of the experiences I had later in the night, I do find that evidence pretty compelling. If I had not had those experiences, I could probably defend them a little bit better. I will say that the one I was most skeptical about was the look down audio, and I spent hours comparing it to other audio and other video clips from other spaces in the night just to make sure we never said that at around that time, and we didn't. We were in the ballroom talking quietly with each other at the time. We weren't even upstairs. So to have those audio clips occur while we're downstairs was pretty wild. So that's kind of the evidence there. The next portion of this video is dedicated to the most active spot in this house, and probably the most annoying spot at this house, the stairway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, I'm going to show you all the orbs, I'm going to show you all the video files that aren't orbs, and then I'm going to show you audio on the stairway, and I'm going to close it out by talking to you again. those were all the orbs we captured on the stairs. Some of the orbs you could tell, like we were walking on the steps and then an orb would be there. Clearly that's dust. Clearly that's dust from the stairway. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments below. The one that really got me, for the first time I'm looking at footage of orbs and I'm saying, okay, this one's weird. A ball of light appears at a door. It's only like a handful of milliseconds long. It's quick. I'm surprised I caught it. And then there's another flicker at the base of the stairs below the door, like in terms of camera angle. So like there's the one up here with the door, and then there's the one down there at the steps, bottom of the steps. And on the slow-mo, it kind of looks like the one at the bottom of the steps is moving toward the bathroom. I don't know what to make of that. It's there and it's not. It just flashes. It doesn't do something that I've seen orbs do countless times, which is behave like bugs or dust, which they are. So this little ball of light, that's something I don't quite get. It only happened the one time, never happened again. I've never seen this before. With 30-something investigations and like 2.5 years of doing this, nothing has shown up on my camera that looks like this. I don't know. Honestly, I'm hesitant to chalk it up to paranormal because maybe there was a light being shined into the window from outside at the right angle that it just flashed like that. I think that's thin. I don't like it, but it seems to be the best logical explanation that I have for it. It was a very weird moment. I tried posting a shortened version of that video to Instagram. It did not even come up. Like, you couldn't even tell the ball of light was there. So I was a little disappointed in that I couldn't share it and get some opinions before I made this video. Nevertheless, I'm really excited we caught something different. So this is really a shout out to the other paranormal teams. If you've ever caught anything like that on camera and you figured out a logical explanation for it, please let us know. Please let us know what you think it is. Again, we don't know. We just don't know. It pops up, it disappears in less than a second. In less than 1 second, and it appears at the bottom of the stairs and is there for less than 1 second. So within like a second and a half, this ball of light is there, gone, bottom, gone. Just like that, and that's the reason I had the slow-mo video. So, other than that ball of light, there were other strange things that happened on the stairway. One of them was, which our camera audio did catch, and our audio recorder caught, but the audio recorder is going to come later. One of the things our camera audio caught while filming all these orbs was a lot of strange sounds. Some of the sounds are underneath Bradley and I talking, and it's very hard to say, hey, this wasn't us. Some of it definitely wasn't us. And I've included those into the upcoming clips. Everything that's us talking to each other, and then you hear like a high voice, or you hear a shout, a scream. There were a lot of screams on the stairs. Honestly, there was one scream that I'm not sure if it was a dog barking or not. And then there's an audio where it's the audio that I heard with my ears, and it's the audio that it was a disembodied voice that our equipment caught. That's the evidence that made me a believer. It was right above me. If there was a person there, I would be staring right at them. There was no one there, and it shouted down at me. So you're going to get that audio clip, and you're going to get so much more from what the camera audio caught. What our audio recorders caught is going to come afterwards, And the audio recorders also did a better job of kind of discerning what is our voice from what is not our voice. Because what I did is I went and I matched the audio recorder to the camera. And if the audio recorder could prove that it was Bradley or I completely cut it out from both the camera and the audio evidence. However, there are definitely five big things that the camera caught that our audio recorder also caught, and I'm going to review those kind of more independently. But for now, here's camera audio captures. So you just saw all of the audio that came from the cameras. There's two more things we captured on cameras before I move on to just audio recording clips. One is an interesting K2 burst. So the reason there's not a lot of K2 data here is because the only K2 meter that went off the entire time we were there was the one on the stairwell. And upon review of evidence, the K2 meter went off every 2 minutes and 15 seconds to every 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Somewhere in that time frame. For the most part, I just threw out all the K2 evidence. I could have gone through and added 15 minutes or so of just the K2 going off. But it wouldn't have been right. Like, I feel like it would be kind of baiting and leading people down kind of the wrong direction. So whatever it was in the stairwell causing that K2 meter to flash every 2+ minutes, I still don't have an idea of what it could be. We had all the electricity off, we had all the light switches off, we didn't run the air conditioning, we didn't run any electronics near there. The closest thing was the camera at the top of the stairs looking down that you've been seeing this whole time. So I don't know. It's weird, but at the same time it has to be something reasonable, because I'm able to predict it. That being said, there are two moments on camera I want to share. First was the K2 going off as Bradley and I are leaving the upstairs area with our 1:30 a.m. investigation. So we investigated from 1 to 1:30 upstairs, and we were going to come downstairs and spend some time at the stairway, try to get the water to turn on because that was one of the stories, do some stuff downstairs because we'd been spending more time upstairs than we had downstairs. And as we're leaving the upstairs, you can hear us talking, you can hear us closing a door and walking down, and the K2 meter goes off in 3 bursts. Now there's 2 reasons for this. First is our walking put enough motion and vibration into the steps and the banisters to where like the hand railings for the steps carried it, and it shook the K2 meter enough to make the lights flash violently. However, it didn't do that the other times we were walking up and down the steps, so I don't know about that. The second is it's potentially paranormal. It's weird that it went off 3 times in a row as we're leaving one particular area. It's weird, but I keep going back to every 2.5 minutes it goes off. So was there something that we did upstairs that caused it to go off even more regularly, like made it flash more regularly? So that's just kind of the reality from there. The second clip is kind of the second cool moment I had there. So this takes place a few minutes after I hear the voice, about 10-15 minutes or so, I think. And I was just kind of having a conversation. The K2 meter was going off pretty regularly, although again, I'm not going to waste anyone's time when it has a pattern, so like I can't use it. But I was getting some positive results on the K2, and I go over, and I felt like I had built some type of repertoire with whatever was there, and I asked for a high five. I put out my hand for a high five, and the air around my hand felt like someone opened a mini freezer, like right around it. So like my whole hand area just got super cold. I even invited Bradley over, and you can actually see it on camera. I'm like, dude, you gotta feel this. This is cold. And he was approaching, you know, it was just like slightest pressure against my hand, just the slightest of pressure. And that cold feeling, and he comes over there, he confirms that it's much colder around my hand. And yeah, I'll let you see the footage of me high-fiving a ghost. I'm tired. So, you just saw all the video evidence that we have. We're ending this episode with audio. Only 2 of our audio recorders caught something significant. One was the audio recorder Bradley was carrying around on him personally, and then the other one was the one on the stairway. The only 2 audio recorders that did not have any issues whatsoever were the ones Bradley was carrying and the one we had in a tower room. So you haven't seen anything from that room because that room had no activity whatsoever. We heard nothing on audio, we heard nothing on video, we saw nothing on video. We felt like that room just ended up wasting our resources and time. So if we were to go back into this place again, we probably wouldn't set up in that space. That being said, the audio recorder on the stairs did have 2.5 to 3 hours of static on it. Yeah, I don't know why. It could be the same thing that causes the K2 to surge every 2 minutes and 20 seconds or 30 seconds. And that's the best I got. But it didn't happen all night. It was just like 2 hours of just hard static. Like, there's background noise, there's kind of the sound of nothing on an audio recorder. And then there's like deep static, like static. I don't know why that was. So outside of that, we did manage to capture really good evidence on that recorder. The recorder upstairs in the beauty room, the one with all the paintings, it was completely turned off. It was shut off completely. Neither Bradley nor I, like, neither of us claimed to turn it off. We set up the room, everything was on, we left, we did our rounds 3 times through that room, and we never turned it off. We go in the morning, it's off, only 5 minutes recorded. 5 minutes recorded. There was nothing on that 5 minutes. I was curious, I checked. There was nothing on it. It was just like someone walked in and turned it off without footsteps, without the sound of it being picked up. It just shut off. It had a full battery. We charged all of our gear the night before. Everything was good to go. It just, like, the button was down on it. Like, it was actually turned off. When I turned it back on, it had a full battery. I don't know. That's weird. The audio recorder in the other room, honestly, it just didn't do as good of a job as the camera microphone. So Bradley had this really big microphone that he attached to the camera, and it's a really sensitive mic, and it did work really well. I have a mic as well. Mine's a little bit smaller, but it's same general type. It's a boom mic attachment for a small camera, and it did great. I had that microphone on the camera in the hallway. The audio is a shame, but we still got something from it. So that's what I'm about to share with you. So there are 2 files from Bradley's audio recorder. Those are going to come up first. I'm going to let you know what audio recorder it is. And then I'm going to let you hear it, and then we're going to give an interpretation of what we think it's saying. And we're going to move on, and then the episode's going to close out. You're not going to see my face again this month, given how today is the last day of the month. Joke's on you. There is going to be a future video dropped where just kind of everything is posted out for you. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching. Our subscriber count has risen drastically. In the past 4 months, we've gained about 50 YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much. On Instagram, we're over 1,100. Thank you so much. On Facebook, we have over 500 followers and over 480 likes. Thank you so much for all the love and attention we get. Again, the reason we do this isn't to get popular. It's not to get famous. It's to contribute to this paranormal narrative. For me, it's to learn about these places and spaces and tell their stories. Like, that's what I want to do, is I want to tell the stories of these places. It's just a privilege to have so many people interact with me online and interact with our channel, and just appreciate what we put out. So thank you very much. Happy Halloween, and sleep tight. Alright, you want to carry the audio?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't.
Alright, you want to carry the audio?
Yeah, that's fine.
possible that the reason people hear footsteps in here or in this area is because it happens during the day. It's possible that the reason people hear footsteps in here or in this area is because it happens during the day.
Here's the door.